Well, welcome all to the SnailTrail4x4 podcast. If you like going off-roading in Toyotas, wrenching on Toyotas, camping in Toyotas, maybe even poking a little bit of fun at Toyotas, and of course, hearing about how fast V8s drink their fuel, then this is the podcast for you. That's right, ladies and germs. My name's Tyler. Joining me for another episode of the SnailTrail4x4 podcast is Jimmy Jet. How are you doing, man?
Good. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yourself?
Doing pretty good.
Awesome.
Sorry if you guys are like watching on video and you see me like poke my tongue in my cheek every so often. I have like this stupid canker sore. And it's like right where my teeth come together. When I chomp.
Did you like chew on your cheek while you're sleeping at night?
Maybe.
I do that
Maybe
every once in a while.
what happened.
Yeah.
But it's really fucking annoying.
I bet. I hate that.
It's been annoying the crap out of me for like 5 days.
Bummer.
So,
well, I'm sorry to hear that.
No, you're not. Take it back.
Okay. Sorry. I'm sorry.
Perfect. Thank you. It was good times as always. This is Thursday's episode, so we can tell you guys what we've been up to. But before we get into that, we have a lot of stuff going on the back end.
Yes.
So, this is the month of the Wolf Box. So, we got a lot of things going on with Wolf Box this month. So the first one that you guys need to be aware of, because we are kind of coming to a close, I guess both of them are, is our monthly giveaway. Every month we give away an item. We partner with a vendor, get to tell you guys some stories from the vendor, have them on, learn about the products they have, the business they have, how they do things. And this month was with Wolfbox. So we had a guy come on who's been using Wolfbox for a very long time, Austin. And we had some fun conversations with him. That was back on episode, was that 726, 24, 724, I think. So really cool episode, a lot of really neat information about Wolfbox, and what they're doing, what they've been doing, and really how these, the G900 cameras, the rear view camera systems work and the functionalities they have. So, really cool episode, but we're giving away one for the month of July, to all of our listeners that support the podcast. So in order to get in on that, you need to be signed up before the end of July. So July 31st is your cutoff date, and you got to sign up in one of two places. There's iRate 4x4. You can go to the SnailTrail4x4 forum there. And if you're on a mobile device, it's at the bottom of the page. If you're on a computer or a tablet, something with a bigger screen, your option should show up on the side of the page. So you can sign up there. Or you can go to our Discord, which the invite URL for the Discord is down in the show notes. And we are officially over 150 people on Discord.
Okay.
I was looking at that yesterday. So a lot of really cool, fun conversations going on over there. Some good ideas for podcast episodes.
Oh, good.
Have been flying through over there as well. So we'll kind of keep a list on that. If you guys have any fun ideas for podcast episodes you guys would like to see covered, drop it over there in that channel. We're people are up in arms about needing a pets channel.
I know.
I'm kind of like at this point, I'm like, I don't want to give you one now.
I'm kind of like, I think you guys have all wasted your photos.
I know, right? So
I'm kind of worried a little bit about the Discord, just because I feel like there's so many things that we can talk about that it's just going to turn into like a forum. In a way.
Yeah, and that's kind of what happens with Discords if they kind of take off and become popular.
Yeah, it's just going to be this big thing, you know. And I feel like there's just going to be a ton of information in a lot to places, and I kind of I don't know if I wanted to keep it small and simple.
Gotcha.
But it's quickly growing to something pretty large.
We're gonna have to hire some moderators.
I know. I was thinking about that.
Hire Nick and see what he moderates.
I don't know about that.
I could see Nick doing some fun moderations. Yep. Anyway, so Discord is banging. It's a lot of fun. There's a lot of activity going on, way more than we thought there was going to be. So it's really cool to see that grow and see you guys make use of it. But you can also get signed up for the monthly giveaway over there. There's a section in your navigation pane called support the podcast or the podcast, something like that. And your options for supporting the podcast are there. So sign up by the end of the month. And then we also have a group buy going on with Wolfbox for the G900 Tri-Pros. And we are over the 30 minimum for the top tier of the group buy.
Yeah.
And what's cool about that is we are pretty much guaranteed $40 off your purchase for a G900 Tri-Pro, but they're also doing 20% off, I think, almost the entire website.
I think so.
And so they told us that you guys will be able to stack those two discounts, the 20% off that's going on the website, as well as the $40 off the G900 Tri-Pros. So that comes to, I want to say it was like $110, $115 off of the G900 Tri-Pros. And they were normally $350. So it brings down to like $240 bucks, 30% off over. So pretty good deal, pretty screaming thing that Wolfbox is doing for the show here. As soon as we get to July 31st in the evening time, we'll shoot an email over to Wolfbox and make sure we get that discount code so we can get it over to all of you guys August 1st. So you can start making all your purchases. Cause we're not sure when that 20% on the website is going to go away. So you guys will all want to make sure you get your purchases in as quickly as possible, just to make sure that you get to be able to stack those. So
agreed.
Let's see. What else do we got going on?
Well, in regards to the group buy, if you want to get in on the group buy, there's still time. You have until the end of the month. So you could either message us on the Discord, you can DM us on Instagram, or send us an email, or whatever is really convenient for you, as long as you can get a hold of one, Tyler or I. And then we can just keep, all we need from you is how many you're interested in and your email address, so that once we get the discount code, then we can get it back to you. So it's super easy. So if you're interested in one, just get a hold of us one way or another.
Cool. I like it. We'll get your name down and we'll get those discount codes out. Let's see what else for the month of July. We do have some reviews to go over.
How are we doing on reviews?
We're doing pretty good.
Okay.
Not very many spots still available for the 800 review. Okay. So let's see.
Which when we get to 800 reviews, we are giving away an Onyx Elite membership plus some swag packs from SnailTrail4x4, Morphlate, and some other friends of the podcast. So where are we sitting?
We are currently at 790.
Yeah. 796. So 4 more spots till we get to 800. Okay.
Yep. So once you get to 800, that's the last 4 spots we have. Well, if you sign up or leave a review, I guess at 801, you do not get included in the giveaway here for the Onyx Elite membership and the swag pack. So make sure there's only 4 spots left. You guys are going and doing that. And remember, you can submit multiple reviews if you can get access to somebody else's phone and their Apple account.
Yeah.
You just have to remember.
Or if you have multiple emails, you can make multiple Apple accounts.
That's fair too. Yep. So it's really cool. Fun little program that we started. That's been a big hit. And then every so often we get to do some grand prizes.
Yes.
Like we've done a winch. We've given away a winch. I think that was at 500 reviews.
Yep.
We did another, what did we do? Some tires. A full set of Yokohama tires, pretty much your choice, at, what was it, 750 reviews?
I believe so. Yep.
And so at 900 reviews is the next grand prize now. And that was going to be with Morphlate. You're going to get at least $900 at the 900 reviews. So some really cool stuff coming out. And I think we're going to have 2 products launching by the end of August, I hope.
Ooh, okay.
I hope. If not August, then maybe early September, but somewhere right around there. So that'll be coming up, and those items will get included in your big Morphlate prize package at 900 reviews. So
sweet.
Today, though, we're going to go back and read some reviews.
Okay.
And we're going to start here with AJ Long.
AJ Long.
AJ Long.
Okay.
It says, good 4x4 dirt podcast. Always informative and a fun listen.
Thank you.
We're not a dirt podcast. Get out of here. No.
Or a rock podcast?
Rock podcast. Granite is what we like. Sandstone's fun too, though. Thank you for writing in J Long. So,
is it Jay or just the letter J?
Jay. Yeah, like a blue jay. Like a long blue jay.
Okay.
I don't know why, but that's what I'm referencing. Next one up is Tacoma 7989. Says camp talk.
Camp talk.
It's just like being at camp after a day of wheeling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what we were aiming for.
So we're going for. And I can attest to that after hanging out at Berrett Lake with Mr. Lloyd and Husmann and Dana. We just goofed around and talked about cars and random stuff.
Nice.
So it was fun.
So jealous.
Next one. Ben. Okay, it's the username earmuffs is V to the Gina. And it's the review says Ben from Dover borrowed a phone. This podcast should have more Ranger talk and should also let someone with a Ranger win tires. Just saying.
Nice. Thanks, Ben.
Thanks, Ben. I think Ben has put in like
the most
10 reviews, 12 reviews now,
Wow.
something like that. I don't know what he's at. Next up is J Turner 01. Says solid show. I've been listening for about a year now, and it's a good show. I like the variety of topics discussed and general structure. Good listen while working on the toys.
Yay.
Yeah.
I like it.
That's good. Good stuff. It's good to work on the toys.
Yeah. And to listen.
Yep. Next up is Arise Honk.
Arise Honk.
Honk. Great podcast. I love this podcast. Listen to it on the way to work almost every day.
Wow. You probably caught up by now then.
Maybe. I don't know. It depends when he started. This was from June 26, 2023. So probably all caught up. Next one is from July 2nd, 23. That's from Cole Trickle 813.
Cole Trickle.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't we read something from him already or something?
I feel like that we know that name.
Well, it came up because it's a Days of Thunder thing.
Oh.
So maybe and that's how that all started. So maybe we listen to another like Cole Trickle,
maybe
84 or whatever.
Maybe.
Okay.
I got made fun of this weekend because I haven't seen Days of Thunder
again.
Yes.
All right. We can need to figure out how to do this on Discord. Do a watch party.
Says love these guys. New listener. Absolutely great podcast. Love the Christmas idea episode. What was the Christmas idea episode?
The only thing
the gift ideas.
The gift ideas, I think, is the only one I can. Yeah.
Gotcha. Hopefully that helped you, Cole.
Yeah.
Get some good gifts from your significant others and family.
We know it helps Tyler.
Yeah. Yeah. I got to pay more attention to what I say now on that episode. And I think last one we'll do for today is DJD524. Says, great off-roading podcast. This is a great podcast for off-roaders. I enjoy the diversity of topics from stories and trip reports to technical discussions and interviews with people and manufacturers to learn more about their products. I also appreciate the frequent updates, which means there is almost always something new to listen to. 3 episodes a week says there's always something new to listen to.
Yes.
So
3 too many.
Maybe 2.5 too many. I'm okay with 1.5 episode a week, but that other 1.5 episodes is killing me right now.
All you need to do is listen to the last hour of Monday's episode. Everything else is
right. Exactly. So that's where we'll cut it today. Let's see. I need to make note of this. Ad lib, Jimmy.
Ad lib. So let's see. If you leave us, we've already talked about reviews, but we are giving away $900 of Morphlake gear once we get to 900 reviews. So go leave us a review. Get in to win the Onyx Elite memberships once we get to 800 and 850. And then, like I said, once we get to that 900 review mark, you're getting a bunch of really cool stuff from Morphlake. So in regards to, in addition to reviews, we also have the Discord going on, which is a lot of fun, which we kind of talked about for the group buy. But there's also a lot of fun things happening there. One of the things that we are working on is the tokens, and we are hiding tokens always. Did you hide any this weekend?
No, because I hid a couple last time I was up on the trail. So I was like, I don't want to put like 5 on Berrett Lake all at one time.
I regret not taking a token out with me this weekend. There was a really cool spot that you could only access by boat.
Gotcha.
For the most part. Maybe you could hike there, but the way we got there was by boat. And I was like, dude, that would have been a sweet spot to hide a token.
That'd be cool. I did find a new location at Berrett Lake that I've never been to before.
Ooh.
So I really want to hide a token there, but I was like, I don't want to put a bunch in one spot in one area here. So
yeah.
Next, once that one is found on Barrett, then, or maybe a year goes by or something, I'll hide some more up in that new spot I found.
Yeah, definitely. So we enjoy hiding tokens. We enjoy going out and exploring, going to new places. We usually drop a token there to entice you guys to go out and explore and have some fun adventuring around this wonderful world.
Yep.
If you're interested in hiding tokens for us and you're outside of California, especially you guys, I'm talking to you, reach out to me. I've got a few sets of tokens sitting aside right now, just ready to either for us to hide or to send out to people to hide tokens. So if you got a trip coming up or you've got some fun weekend plans and you're going out in your local area and you're willing to hide some tokens and do a little bit of work while you're out there, get in contact with us and we'll get some tokens out to you guys.
Sweet.
Yeah.
I like it. The tokens are a lot of fun. I've been enjoying hiding them. Hopefully you guys are enjoying finding them. So let's see. Any other kind of housekeeping pre-show stuff?
I don't think so. Trevor Clark did find another token.
Was it a repeat or was it one that he needed?
It was a repeat. It was an S.
Okay.
But it was the one by the boiling mud pots up in Lassen, right by the road.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Yeah, so he found that one.
Yep. Good.
Yeah. So he has, he's catching up or he's getting up there. So, but I don't want that to deter anyone because
that was really quick. That was a really cool token. A, the mud pots are right there.
Yeah.
But B, I went off of the road and then kind of under the bridge a little bit and kind of hit it on the edge of a cliff overlooking this kind of river canyon under the bridge.
Yeah.
So it had this awesome view. Well, as you kind of got off of the road and kind of hiked down a little bit. So I think the one at the campsite was probably my favorite spot on the Lassen trip. That other one at the mud pots was a pretty cool little site.
Yeah. And I'm pretty sure there's still 2 tokens hid out in Lassen.
Yeah, I want to say I hid one every day, and we were there for 4 or 5 days in that area.
One of the ones that I hid is still out there.
Oh, okay, nice.
Yeah,
cool.
So
you hide it down in a lava tube so no one can use their GPS to find it.
No, I hid it. That would be funny. That was the one by the boiling sulfur pits and mud pots that was snowed in last time Trevor went there. And you guys had baby Reed, so you didn't do the hike out that way.
Gotcha.
But yeah, that was I forgot what the guy's name was. That
it's like Hell's Kitchen or
it's something else.
Okay.
It was named after somebody that fell into the mud twice.
Ugh.
Yeah. And eventually had to get his leg amputated.
Jeez.
But yeah, so the tokens are out there. We have a fun time hiding them.
Yep.
Hopefully you guys are having a fun time finding them. But I did want to say, so once the first person that spells out SnailTrail4x4, you have to find all 13 tokens that spell out SnailTrail4x4. That person's winning a gear wrench mechanics tool set.
Mm-hmm.
I think, what did we say? It was like $1,300 value and like 600
like
pieces.
It was like, I want to say it was the new one that's currently on sale is 2,000. That had some extra things in it from the version that we have. So it's around $1,500 to $2,000. Yeah. 600 pieces, 650, something like that. It's a big old set.
Yeah. But I don't want to deter you just because Trevor is close, because if you already have tokens, you can continue to find more tokens and spell out SnailTrail4x4. And once we get rid of the Master Mechanics tool set, we're lining another thing up right after that to do another giveaway for, and we're going to just continue that ball rolling. So eventually you're going to be able to spell out SnailTrail4x4 at some point, and you're going to win something.
Yep.
So keep going, keep searching, keep having fun, and keep exploring.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah.
All right, then let's take a quick break.
Yeah.
And we'll be right on back with kind of what Jimmy and I have been up to over the past week, and where we get to, this is the part of the podcast where Jimmy and I actually get to check in with each other weekly and see what's been going on in our lives.
Yeah, we've said it before, but we pretty much don't talk during the entire week, so that when we talk on the microphones, it's brand new, fresh information for both of us.
Yeah. So grab some popcorn, grab some chips and salsa, as we all know Jimmy likes, especially with his shrimp sauce. Chips and shrimp sauce, and we'll be right on back with what we've been up to.
Onyx Off-Road is the mapping software that Tyler and I have been enjoying for years. But one of the key features that I really like are the layers. It brings all kinds of data quickly to your fingertips, and you can click and choose the layer that you want to see. They have so many different types of layers, from weather to cell phone coverages to dispersed camping, wildfires, or even avalanche dangers. Their layers can be populated on top of each other, or you can view them one at a time. It's just a great feature to get some quick information so you can figure out where you want to go camping or where you can stay in contact with your loved ones. So check out Onyx Off-Road from any app store.
Welcome back, ladies and gentle ladies, to the What in the Butt episode. What is this? 727?
Yeah.
Man. Of stuff that Jimmy and I have been up to. We've been doing this for over 7 years now.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yep.
It's crazy stuff.
Stupid.
Yep. Stupid's a good word for it. How many years of a napkin stack is that over there?
How many years have we been here?
That's 3.
That's about
2.5, 3.
Yeah, 2 to 3 years of napkins stacking over there. We need to today. We should just take that stack back to them.
Be hilarious. Just walk in. Here you guys go.
For those that don't know, after usually we try to record our podcast in order.
Yeah.
Right. So we sit down, we record Thursday's episode. Then usually we go to lunch.
Yeah.
Then we record snail mail, and then we record Monday's episode.
Mm-hmm.
We record all those on Tuesday, and then we do the editing and release for that during the week. So when we record Thursdays, then we go to lunch, and we typically always go to this Mexican restaurant because we both like Mexican food, and their food is good.
They have the best nachos in town I've found so far.
Probably. It's really good. But whenever we order food for them, we always get it to go. We always come back here to the warehouse, and we sit down and we eat, and we talk about like Thursday or Monday's episode and other things that we have to do, or what's in regards to the podcast, what needs to happen. So we have like a little check-in and a little meeting, but they always give us napkins.
A huge stack of napkins.
Always in the to-go food, they give us napkins, which is really nice. It's a nice thing to do. You receive some napkins with your to-go food.
I had some over here. Then I did the stack.
Yeah. But after years and years and years of doing this, we haven't really thrown the napkins away because we've always been like,
oh, what if we need them?
We might need them. Now we have literally, you could probably fill 2, if not 3 of those like containers that you would put on the table. Napkin dispensers. We have that many napkins. Yeah. And I've taken some in the past too.
I have too.
So we have a lot of napkins.
Yep. We're hoarders here at the podcast. So
maybe.
We also hoard license plates apparently.
Yep.
So
one day those will get up.
Yep. Before we get into what we've been up to, because we're going to talk a little bit about this, but we're just going to kind of touch on the subject. We've had people, there was a conversation on Discord about, the videos that came out on Instagram with the people in the drag races through Little Sluice on the Rubicon Trail.
Got it. Okay.
And why is that a big deal? And so we're going to get into that a little bit today, because that's part of what I did this weekend. But also I want to let you guys know that there's been a big thing going on. If you guys have not noticed it happening, I highly recommend you look into it. But Bears Ears National Monument and Grand Escalante National Monument just severely got reduced in size.
And where are those?
In Utah.
Okay.
I want to say both of them are right around Moab and Arches.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So we are planning on covering that. We are planning on kind of updating you guys on what's going on with that. There's a lot of, I don't want to say false information. It's I think of it as false truths, I don't know what the right term would be. I don't know what the right term is. But it's deceptive information, I think.
Okay.
And so we're going to be going over a lot of that. We need to be, I don't want to say careful. We need to be precise about the information and data that we put out there for you guys. We want to make sure that it is correct, that it's valuable information, and we're not making a bunch of mistakes and misguiding you guys and deceiving you guys accidentally. So that is coming. That episode is coming. And we have had people asking about it. So
okay.
Let's see. So that brings us into what we've been up to.
Yeah. I'll take the lead here because I didn't do really any off-roading, and you did a ton.
I did a lot.
You did a lot.
Yeah.
So I think I'll start with Bobcat though.
Okay.
So as of last week, I was pretty much done building the axle. And I cut out the bottom. I removed the drain plug. I put in a thicker plate, welded it back into place. Right. So then I didn't get a ton of time that last week to work on it because we were leaving for camping on Thursday.
Okay.
And so I had a super short week. Plus I had all my day job stuff to do.
Yeah.
Right. And everything happening. And my laser broke.
Oh no.
Yeah. And
what happened to your laser?
So what I found, I didn't know this all happened on Wednesday, but the laser emergency stop button short circuited pretty much.
Oh,
it burnt out.
Okay. So it was always on, essentially. The stop button was on?
It was the opposite. Well, the emergency stop was on.
Yes.
So it would not cause, for me, it would not cause my control board to turn on.
Gotcha.
But it allowed the laser to power up. Because there's two, for those that don't have a laser, don't know, there's two different power supplies. One that actually controls the laser beam function and one that controls the control board that tells the laser what to do. So my laser was powered up and ready to go, but the control board wasn't turning on, allowing me to do any functions.
Yeah.
And so I diagnosed it to pretty much the emergency stop. And then once I ripped the emergency stop button out, and I looked at him like, yeah, it's melted here. I was like, okay.
Just jump right. You don't need an emergency stop.
Yeah, pretty much. And that's kind of what I did. So long story long, I ended up buying another emergency stop, but the emergency stop that it looks damn near identical. It has a different button on the top.
Okay.
Right. But this one it'll power on the laser when the emergency stop is at the top. But if I press down the emergency stop, it turns off the laser, but will turn on the circuit board. So it's an either or situation, not a dual situation. So I was like, damn it. And I was like, well, I'll just run two emergency stops kind of at the moment because one side of one works and the other side of the other one works. And so I was able to work Monday and get stuff done because I was running these two emergency stops.
Yeah.
But I'm going to be doing research and trying to find the one that I need.
Gotcha.
That or I'm going to rip it out of yours. Anyway, so I was working on Bobcat, working on panels, working on, everything going on with just general life, trying to get out of here Thursday morning-ish to go camping. So I didn't have a ton of time to work on Bobcat, but what I did do was I ended up putting the axle underneath the rig. I I took the leaf springs apart and I removed a spacer block that was under there.
Okay.
And I temporarily just placed the leaf spring perches onto the axle so then I can start rotating the axle to find the appropriate degree and angle that I need.
Okay.
For the drive shaft, because I'm going away from my 2-piece drive shaft and I'm going away from the 1-piece drive shaft, going back to the original kind of 2-piece drive shaft that's in there. In regards to that, I took apart the 2-piece drive shaft I have and I put the part that goes from the T case to the carrier bearing. I attached it to the T case and zip tied it to like sort of the carrier area.
Okay.
Trying to get an idea of how things are going to start laying out.
Yeah.
At that point, I messaged Husmann. This was at Tuesday night. I messaged Husmann saying, hey, you want to come over and we can just talk about things. And, I think I'm in a good spot to like start doing some measuring and figuring some things out. And so he came over after work on Wednesday. He had a short period of time, just swung by for a few minutes and we talked about it. And a lot of it was kind of like, how do I figure out my compression? Because I'm on leaf springs, right? So I need to figure out how long this drive shaft, how much slip the drive shaft is going to have, right? Because at full droop, it's going to have the most. And at full compression, it's going to have the least. And then at ride height is where I need to kind of find the average length of them. Okay. Sort of. And so I was like, how do I find compression? I'm on leaf springs.
Yep.
And so what we kind of came up with was like maybe just ratchet straps or something to like, I have to compress the suspension a little bit.
Yeah.
And so that's pretty much where I'm at. I haven't done anything with Bobcat since. So I need to build, still needs to happen is I need to build a mount for the carrier bearing because apparently I cut mine off when I went from the 2-piece to the 1-piece. And then I need to put the third member in the axle, figure out the angle. I need to take the drive shaft to the drive shaft shop to get it cut down. I need to weld on the perches, weld on spring or shock mounts. So there's still a lot of work to do.
Yeah.
But I think I have a backup plan, so I can still go onto the Rubicon with the Slow County Crawler guys.
Okay.
And that pretty much is, I'm just going to weld up the old axle.
Okay.
And put it back into place. Because I don't think I'm too far down. I'm too close to our departure time to get the drive shaft made.
True. Yeah.
And so I thought, well, I could still put the axle in, still have it at this funky angle and run it with like a U-joint not perfectly right, because I'm not going to be going fast on the and so I'll have to just tow it to the trailhead. And I was like, it's really not that much more work to weld up. Like the axle is completely apart right now. I could weld up the axle fairly easy and just put it back in, because I still have the drive. The solid one-piece drive shaft still will work. You know, I can just reattach all the brakes and everything that I took off. The bummer part is I'm going to go through a bunch of gear oil for the rear diff and bleeding the brakes multiple times. That's really the biggest hassle that's going to happen. So I think that's my backup plan. So I'm going to continue to work on Bobcat and try to get it to as close as I possibly can to getting ready for the two-piece drive shaft, or going back to the two-piece drive shaft. Then I'm going to rip the stuff out. And hopefully by that time I'll have things tacked and ready to go in place for, so I can weld it up once I take it out.
Gotcha. Okay.
And then at that point I'll put in the old stuff and I'll go out on the Rubicon with the old stuff.
Okay.
That's fixed.
Yeah.
More or less.
Temporarily fixed.
Well, it'll be pretty damn permanently fixed, but it'll just be a temporary job for me, because I want to go back to the two-piece. Yeah.
Cool. Okay.
So that's the Bobcat stuff.
Nice.
So there was a little bit of work there. I'm not quite sure what's going to happen this week, because my family is going to Oregon, and I think I'm just going to say bye-bye to them.
Okay.
And I'm going to stay behind and just continue to work on work and the podcast and Bobcat, and hopefully maybe Samantha at that point. So we'll see. But fingers, it sounds so bad. Fingers crossed I get to stay home.
Yeah.
But we'll see what ends up happening. Now that I have this backup plan, I don't feel like the pressure is there. So I feel like I can still go to Oregon. I'm also low and almost sold out on some panels. So I'm not in like the biggest, like there's not a high demand to get panels out, because I'm sold out. And so, so I might end up going up to Oregon anyway. And I know the family wants me to go to be with them. So we'll see. I will have a little sit down and see how things go. But I'm indifferent both ways, but I do want to work on my projects. Yeah. So I really am leaning towards staying home. Okay. And getting that stuff done. Yeah. But besides that, this last weekend we did our annual Shasta camping trip with the assistant's family, her dad's side of the family. And it's a great trip. We always end up going up to one of the fingers on Lake Shasta. We stayed at this campground for the last few years. We stayed at this campground called Hertz Bay. Okay. It has a boat launch there, which works out well because one of my stepbrothers, I think. I don't know how that works. It's my, let's see if I can explain this without getting too crazy. So my wife's dad remarried. So my wife has a stepmom. Okay. And then it's one of her sons.
Yeah. So it'd be a step-in-law.
Yeah. My step brother-in-law. Yeah.
Yeah.
Something like that. He's got a boat. He has some Yamaha, something really nice boat. And we're at the lake and all the kids want to be on the boat all the time and go tubing, and none of them like ski or wakeboard. Some of them will kneeboard and sort of bodyboard, but they all want to go on the tube. Yeah. They like the tube a lot. And so we drove up there on Thursday. We went down to the lake. We had a very lazy day. We just claimed our territory, and then hung out at camp for the rest of the night. Friday was an entire lake day. We spent the time down at I spent the time on shore the entire day, just from going from underneath the canopy to like wading to doing a little paddle boarding to nothing, just hanging out, playing some Stardew Valley on my phone. And then Saturday we went on the boat and we went like all the way from Hertz Bay to underneath the bridge to get some what did we end up? We got some ice and we got some ice cream, and then we continued down the lake towards the dam, which is about an hour on the boat from where we were from our camp. And we went to this place that was a natural water slide.
Oh.
And so you boated up one of these fingers. And there was, we had to do this little hike because the river was, or the lake was a little low. What interesting thing, it seemed like the lake was losing about 1 foot of water a day.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was dumping out of that thing. It was crazy because I was pointing at the first day. I was like, dude, I think the lake dropped like 2 to 3 feet. And we went down there and I was like, yeah, okay, it's not 2 to 3 feet, but it definitely dropped. And then the following day, I was like, it dropped again. Like you can just see the high water lines and like the shore is wet at one point and like a foot or so up, and it's more than a wave. Yeah. And so that was interesting. So anyway, so the lake is down a little ways. So we had a little bit of a hike up to where the water line is. And then from the water line, the high water line, it was, I don't know, 100 to 200 yards up a canyon in the creek. You're kind of weaving your way through this creek. Few decent sized pools, but like when you waded in them, maybe chest height through it. And then you ended up at this pool with this little slide that's like the water comes down and hits a rock and then gets turned at like 90 degrees and it just shoots down this little chute. And somebody like put a rope up there. And so you climb a rope up this like face and then you just sit down at the top and the water pushes you down this chute. Nice. And it was, I don't know, maybe 8-10 feet long. Yeah. Little bumpy. If you were out of control, you could hit your elbow on the wall. Dropped you into like 6 foot deep little hole. Nice. And maybe I don't know, a very large hot tub or a very small pool. In-ground personal pool situation. And when we got there was like a family of 5 and they did it a few times and then they started leaving. And then we had the whole thing to ourselves for like, I don't know, 10 minutes. And then probably like 20 high schoolers showed up and we're like, okay, time to go. And so when we left, we got about halfway down and then the high schoolers started catching up to us again. So, but it was fun. I mean, that was a really cool spot and that's the spot I would have left a token at. Okay. On the way back, 2 kids were kicking it on the tube and then, cousin Marcus did this little weaving thing and the kids jumped off for fun. And then, me and the mini assistant got on the tube and you pushed her off once. Yeah. Okay. But then cousin or step brother Marcus, he went harder. He definitely was trying to get us to fall off and succeeded once or twice, two times, I think, maybe 3. And then, on one of those sessions, I was talking to the mini assistant. I'm like, come lean my way, lean your way. Like you got to really, and when he's flinging you, man, you got to lean. Yep. And you're leaning one way and then he purposely like straightens the boat out so that he goes through the wake, his previous wake. And then you get launched. And then we get launched. And so he knows what he's doing. One of those times, man, like I was still hanging on and we were flinging one direction and the buoy the tube just flipped over and I was still hanging on, but the mini assistant like fell on me and then left and I'm still on. I'm like dragging upside down on this buoy and I'm like, well, she's already off. So we're slowing down to turn to go get her. I was like, I might as well let go. So I let go, but yeah, so I got banged up not only from flying off a tube, but having the mini assistant fall on me. So it was a good time though. That was the only time I went out on the boat. Then the following day, so that was Saturday. Sunday was drive home day, but we hung out at the lake until about 2:00, just relaxed, jumped in the water to cool off. We went on a paddle boarding little session. the assistant and I, and then, we drove home. I turned my phone off completely because I didn't, I was missing the World Cup game. And so I was like, I don't want anybody to message me. I don't want because I went to go look at the highlights for the England and France game. And as soon as I logged on my phone, it was like, oh, the score was 4-6. I'm like, damn it. I didn't want you to tell me the score. I wanted to just see the highlights and see how the game went. Crazy game though. It was, I think England scored 6 goals and France scored 6 and England scored 4. Like what? That's like a super high scoring game. That was interesting. So Mbappe became the golden boot. So he scored the most goals out of the tournament.
Okay.
He also beat Messi for the most goals ever scored in the World Cup.
Oh.
And so he beat Messi on both of those things.
Wow.
Yeah, which is I don't like Messi. I'll just say it. I think he's overrated. I think he's he has an ego and he gets away with his ego on the field by doing fouls that should be fouls, but people kind of let it go. And so anyways, I'm glad he lost in the tournament, and I'm glad he got beat out for the golden boot.
Cool.
There's my Messi rant.
That was a messy rant.
Yeah, exactly. So, I had my phone completely turned off, drove home. I had to get the podcast out, and then I went downstairs and I watched the final game of the World Cup, which was Spain versus Argentina. And spoiler alert, Spain won. So that was pretty good. And I was rooting for Spain just because Messi was on the other team.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and that was my weekend. It was a great weekend. It was good to hang out with family. It was good with the kids are getting older and they want to stay up later, but the adults still want some adult time, and we want to play. They play this card game, which I don't know what the name of it is. It's an interesting game, but it's sort of like Hearts and Rook combined.
I've never heard of Rook. No, yes, I have. I've heard of it. Why do I know what Rook is?
I don't even know how to explain it. But more or less you're and they have specific cards for this game.
Oh, okay.
And I think they're Rook cards because one of them has a bird on it.
Okay.
And so they play whatever this game is, and you're trying to guess how many hands you're going to win. And so if you're dealt 6 cards and, in this case, the aces are highest, but their cards have a 1. So the ace is highest. And so then you're kind of playing by suits, and you're thinking okay, if the clubs are put out of an ace, that means I have the strongest card. So I'm probably going to win that one. So you end up betting at the very beginning of the round, how many rounds do I think I'm going to win? And then there's a score that goes along with it. It's fun. I suck at the game.
Okay.
I tried to, the first night I tried to play it well, and I did okay. I think I got in the middle of the range. The second night I just goofed off the entire time. I was doing max. If there's 6 cards out there, I'm going all in. I'm taking all 6. And I was dead last. The next day, the last night that we were there, I tried to win. I was trying to do really well. And what I found is pretty much don't bet.
Yeah.
You bet 0, unless you have a surefire win. So I think we played, so we went from 6 to 1 and then 1 to cards. So we did a round of 6, a round of 5, a round of 4, a round of 3, 2, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. So 12 rounds. Okay. I lost 4 and I was 3rd to last. I'm like, what? So I'm not very good at that game.
Yeah.
So I don't know. We play it once a year, or we play it 3 times a year. The 3 nights that we're out there camping with them. So it's not like I practice all year any other time, but it's fun to hang out with the step cousins, step uncles, whatever, brother-in-law, whatever it is.
The step-in-law family.
It's more or less the one time of year that we get to see that side of the family. We get to hang out with them. All great people. One's a doctor, one's a nurse, and the other one's a nurse. They're all in the medical field. So it was funny because I was like, what if somebody gets hurt? I'm like, well,
yeah, no problem.
I got 2 nurses and a doctor here.
Yeah, exactly.
We're going to be all right.
Yep.
Yeah. So it was a good time. A lot of fun. So, but no real off-roading. We did take Taylor, the trailer, out. The Tacoma pulled it fine. Charlotte pulled Taylor, no problem. And none of them had seen the trailer. This was the first time we took it out there.
Okay.
So they were all like, "Oh, this is cute. Like, give us a tour."
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, we're really happy with that little teardrop. I think it works well for the family. The mini assistant doesn't want to be sleeping around us anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So we either bring her this like single, like little dome tent, like, well, it's 1 or 2 people for her, but rated for 4. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Or in this case, she wanted the big tent.
Okay.
And so that's like a 6-person tent with a porch for her and her cousin. That's like half her size.
Mm-hmm.
But I was like, if you guys can set it up and take it down, I'm fine with it.
Yep.
So they more or less did it. They needed a little bit of help, just didn't know how it went together.
Mm-hmm.
And then they needed help packing up. They couldn't figure that out. So just more rolling it up to get it in the size for the bag.
Mm-hmm.
And, but yeah, so it was kind of, the assistant and I sleep in the trailer. It's a queen size bed, and the mini assistant slept with her cousin in the tent away from us. And yeah, it just seems to work out well for us.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. It's a fun setup.
Yeah. It was a good weekend.
Yeah.
All in all. So now, time to get back to reality for a few days and then see what I'm going to do.
Okay. Cool. Yeah. I get caught up with things. I got to go and do some off-roading.
Yeah, you did. You did a lot of off-roading this weekend.
I did quite a bit. So let's see. This story kind of starts with last week's Berrett Lake run, right?
Okay.
With the family.
Yes.
I took the wife and the kid out to Berrett Lake. We had the whole place to ourselves. It was great. Midweek trip, a lot of fun. Ran into AA Ron out there, listener. So going into the trail, I filled up Fiona with fuel before that trip, and the roto pack. So I had 6 gallons plus, I think the tank is 22 gallons in Fiona. Went in the trail to the lake, parked it for the week or the 3 days we were there, and then drove it out. Right. And then I never refilled it.
Oh,
because it only used like 1/8 of a tank.
Okay.
Of gas. Like it was like halfway of the 3/4 and full mark. Right.
Sure.
So I was like, okay, so it used about 1/8 of a tank. Cool. And then I ran a couple errands in town here over the 5-6 days I was back. And then so I was at 3/4 of a tank going into this trip.
Okay.
And I was like, 3/4 of a tank, and I've got the 3-gallon roto pack, so 6 gallons of fuel. And 6 gallons is about 1/4 of a tank.
Right. I was going to say, yeah.
So I was like, I pretty much have a full tank of gas. Cool.
Yeah.
We'll get back to that later.
Yeah. I have a sense about where this is going.
So this weekend was the Mad Hatters Summer Picnic.
Right.
So every year, the Mad Hatters Off-Road Club that I'm vice president of, which I think is kind of funny because I go on, I think, 2 runs a year with the Mad Hatters. One is the Adopt a Trail that I'm in charge of for the Rubicon. And then the picnic.
What about the Halloween run?
I don't hit that one every year.
Okay.
I try to. That's my other. That might be my favorite Mad Hatters trip of the year is the Halloween, the Rocktoberfest run. But I don't always get to that one. And so I'm the vice president of this club, and I go on 2 trips a year. Sorry, guys. But it was the summer picnic, so it's a potluck, and we do it at Ice House Resort now. Mm-hmm. We've done it at Ice House Resort the past couple of years. We did it at Gold Lakes before for a long time, and now we do it at Ice House Resort. A little bit more easier to get to, more of a central location, and a lot of different activities that we can go and do during the day around Crystal Basin, right? So as we're leading up to the weekend and get ready to go, there was a bunch of videos that came out on Instagram of people doing drag races through Little Sluice on the Rubicon.
Yes.
The optics of it were definitely not good.
No.
It was.
Well, why? Let's explain. Why was this not good? Because I saw a lot of people going like, "Oh, this is awesome. Reminds me of the good old days. You guys are having fun out there. You know that." Finally some people really trying to have fun in Little Sluice and not like baby towing it through or whatever. So what was negative about it, or what was not good about it?
That whole sentiment of, it reminds us of the good old days when Little Sluice Box was fun, quote unquote, right? So those of us that are familiar with the Rubicon, the terrain of the Rubicon, the vehicles out on the Rubicon, the personalities and people out on the Rubicon, we understand that stuff like this, I don't want to say drag racing per se, but like, people like to hang out and try obstacles and have a good time jeering at each other, and just hanging out, right? Mm-hmm. So like that happens all the time at Soup Bowl.
Sure.
Is another very popular place that people just congregate and watch vehicles try and get up Soup Bowl.
Right.
Or Soup Kitchen, etc. And then Little Sluice is another one of those popular areas. And then Buck Island, right? So Revelement Hill is another one of those spots at Buck Island, as well as a tree line at Buck Island. And now the hill, I want to say over by underneath the bathroom.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't think that has an actual name.
I don't know if it has a name either.
But just a slick, smooth, straight up rock, seems like. Yep. Well, almost straight up, but yeah.
So there's a couple like play areas on the Rubicon that just people end up congregating and playing and having a good time. And we know that pretty much at all those play areas, with exception of tree line, well, not anymore, it's just all granite. You can't really hurt the rocks, right? You can't destroy the terrain because it's really the rock, and blue granite is one of the harder substances in the world, right? So if you're beating on a car on blue granite, chances are you're probably going to break the car before you break any of the rock.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
And rock isn't alive, and it's there's very little natural resource value out of blue granite. Typically, wherever you have a ton of blue granite, you don't have a lot of vegetation. You don't have a lot of natural resource part of it, right? So anyways, watching these guys drag race through Little Sluice, really the damage that they're doing, they're not doing any damage to Little Sluice.
Not really.
They're really damaging all their own shit, right?
Yes.
And there's a testament to that. John Allen, past president of the Mad Hatters, he ended up being out at Spider Lake while all this was going on at Little Sluice.
Oh, no. Okay.
And so he could hear the engines. He could hear kind of the partying going on. He was like, oh, no, here we go. And he said that a drone came up near him at Spider Lake and went over, and he goes, oh, there's the sheriff drone going over.
Oh, yeah.
So sheriff drone, and sure enough, the drone came back 10 minutes later. The sheriff Jeep goes on out. But anyways, on the way out, he got stuck kind of behind a bunch of those guys. And this is the Iron Kids group.
Okay.
I've never heard of the Iron Kids before. It's apparently a group of mid-20 kids, quote unquote, mid-20s adults with buggies. And apparently they do this like a time trial drag race run every year. They've just always done it over on Fordyce.
Oh. I've
never heard of it before. Never had heard of it happening before.
Yeah.
And they're a group of 20-year-old adults with buggies out of Georgetown.
Oh.
Mainly.
So they're local.
They're local.
Okay.
And so John got stuck behind them going through Gatekeeper on his way out of the trail last weekend. And he said every car, like it was weird to him because there were broken cars trying to tow broken cars off the trail. And John goes, kind of chatting with him a little bit, and he goes, why don't you guys use like good cars to tow the bad cars off the trail? It might go a little easier for you guys. And they said, we don't have any good cars left.
Oh, geez.
They broke them all. So anyways, testament to they're mainly just messing up all their own stuff, right?
Yeah.
So the main worry of all this is if you've seen the videos, it's a big party, right?
Yeah.
And that's how the videos are kind of shaped. That's how they're kind of glorified, is there's a bunch of people standing around cheering and jeering on the cars trying to get through Little Sluice in this high-speed fashion. And I think that a lot of the comments that are on the videos, which is exactly what you said, it's awesome to see Little Sluice back to its former glory.
Right.
It's fun to see people out actually enjoying Little Sluice again.
Yeah, enjoying the trail.
And what they're referencing by those comments is back from the mid 1990s through early 2000s when the Little Sluice box turned into the Little Sluice box.
Right.
Before the mid 90s, I think we talked with Merlin. We've on some of our Rubicon history episodes. Merlin said that the first rock got pulled down into Little Sluice, the first big boulder around 1990, 1991.
Somewhere around there, yeah.
And before that, you could drive almost a 2-wheel drive vehicle through there. It was just kind of a little stretch of gravel almost. So slightly bigger than gravel, but it was
cobblestone road.
Cobblestone road is how Merlin described it.
Yeah.
And then in 1990, 1991, the first rocks got pulled off of the cliff face down into the sluice box, which started creating the obstacle Little Sluice as we have kind of now know it today.
Correct.
And so what happened was in the mid 90s to early 2000s, it was a massive party scene.
Yes.
And there was a lot of, there was an event that happened on the Rubicon called Rubicon. What was that called? Rubicon Fest? No, it wasn't Rubicon Fest. I forget what it was called, but it would attract like anywhere from 1,000 to 3,000 people.
Wow. To
Little Sluice over a weekend, during the Pirates of the Rubicon's, initiation ceremonies.
Was it so Boone Fest? Booth? Mike Bo Fest?
I don't remember what it was called now. And there's going to be people that are listening to the podcast right now screaming the name of it. But I found old flyers for it.
Oh, really?
Yeah. When I was doing the Rubicon information group, trying to get all the vested interests of the trail to work together, I found flyers for it, and people on social media going, "Oh yeah, that was a great time. There was 3,000 people out there." And
yeah,
that's not good. So last time when those parties were going on and Little Sluice was quote unquote in its former glory, in its heyday, it was a giant party scene, and there was a big, major issue with trash and human feces everywhere.
Yes.
And automotive vehicle spills, right? Oil spills, power steering fluid spills in general, right? And so the state water board, after one of those parties, It was something of Palooza. Anyway, okay. It's like it's going to come back to me. I'm going to shout it out in the middle of the episode. Anyways, after one of these big parties that was like 3,000 people out at Little Sluice, there was literally white flowers and human feces everywhere.
Yep.
And it rained a couple days after that event, and there was just literally rivers and streams of human shit running down all the granite slabs at Little Sluice. They did water testing at Buck Island and Spider Lake and Loon Lake and found human fecal matter in the water samples that they did from the lakes. And so, and they found literal creeks of shit running down the slabs. And so the state water board shut down the trail.
Right.
It was one of the first times that the Rubicon Trail had ever been shut down by a government entity.
Yeah.
And that was, I want to say 2002.
Yeah.
When that happened, 2002 or 2003.
Okay. I thought it was, it's right around 2000 to 2003.
Yeah, somewhere in there. And then Friends of the Rubicon and Del Albright went out and picked up human shit off of the rocks and cleaned it all up. And then Friends of the Rubicon was formed in 2004 because of that whole event.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So when people say, because Friends of the Rubicon did that and got the area cleaned up, and they closed off the private property at Spider Lake, that's when the Spider Lake property got closed off too, from people being able to use it and camp at it. And that's also what caused Little Sluice to get blown up as well and blasted, was to keep the party scene from happening and risking another closure of the trail.
Sure.
Right. So when people start commenting on all these social media videos of how awesome it is to see Little Sluice becoming quote unquote Little Sluice again, that makes the government agencies start to freak out.
Yes.
And the Rubicon Trail is under very, very close, tight watch by government agencies.
Oh, yeah.
There are
by multiple of them.
7 government agencies that have a vested interest and say on what happens on the trail, something like that. From law enforcement to land managers to the state water board to a number of things. There's California State Parks, there's the county, there's the Forest Service, there's El Dorado Sheriff, there's the OHMVR Commission, there's State Water Board, and there was one more. I'd have to go back and look at my list. So anyways, and that's just government agencies. That's not
right.
Private entities as well, and adopted trail clubs and everybody who's put on a ton of work and time into this trail. So all in all, I want to say when I was running the Rubicon information group and trying to get all these vested interests to work together again, we had, Placer County was the other one. And Tahoe National Forest on the north side. So that's 8 entities right there. I think my list of contacts that were supposed to be coming to this meeting to discuss what's going on the trail, it was 30 to 40 entities involved with stuff going on the trail. So anyways, when this stuff gets going out and it's obviously a glorifying the party side of being out at Little Sluice, the optics are really, really bad.
Yes.
It's all in the optics, man. Especially nowadays, because we had an incident with it in Mojave where 2,200 miles were closed in Mojave. It's called the WeMo incident. We've covered a little bit about it on the show here. That happened because the Center for Biodiversity and Sierra Club got together and said, there's a couple of things that were not happening correctly in WeMo in the Mojave area with those 2,200 miles. And it appears as though OHV motorized use is the main reason for the damage and destruction happening in this area. And then they got a federal judge in San Francisco who has really nothing to do with Mojave.
Right.
Nowhere near Mojave. I don't know if they even checked in or did studies with the governing land manager in Mojave. I don't know who it is, but off the top of my head. But all they did was the federal judge was like, oh, you're right. If all this is actually happening, then yeah, we need to address it. And instead of giving a work list of things that need to get done, they just issued an abatement order and closed 2,200 miles overnight.
Right.
From a federal judge that's nowhere near the area.
Correct.
So what that means is that precedence was set. And this has happened before. It's not a new precedence. It's a precedence that kind of got reaffirmed on a rule called minimization criteria, a law. That is a Nixon-Reagan era law that was put on the books in the late 70s, reaffirmed and widened. The language was widened in the early 80s. Minimization criteria states that if there's any damage that appears to be happening to the land managers have an obligation to minimize that damage. And usually that always gets attributed to motorized recreation.
Yeah, unfortunately.
And so if somebody can take a couple of videos online that makes it appear as though there's a ton of damage and issues happening at a location as that's been trying to get shut down by CBD and Sierra Club for how many years now? If they can get a federal judge that's nowhere near the area to see these videos and claim that, okay, yeah, there is damage getting done based on what it looks like in the videos, then that gives precedence to minimization criteria laws being enforced.
Sure. Okay.
Luckily for us, Blue Ribbon Coalition has been working their ass off to eliminate the minimization criteria laws. And they just within the past 2 to 3 months got them overturned with our current administration, the Trump administration. So in theory, we don't have minimization criteria right now, but I know that there's a CBD, Sierra Club, SUWA. They're all working to reestablish minimization criteria, and they're challenging the elimination of minimization criteria laws in courts right now. So it's very, very possible that those can come back. And so we just don't need that optics of parties and bringing Little Sluice back to its former glory, quote unquote, out in the public scrutiny. As soon as that starts happening, you're going to freak out land managers, and they're going to blast Little Sluice more. So it can't be a party scene.
Yeah.
Right. So, anyways, that's kind of the big issue with those videos and what happened there.
Yeah.
So I called up the land manager. I called the county and I was like, hey guys, I'm sure you've seen the videos going around social media, right? And they're like, yes. Like, you guys kind of upset about it? And they're like, yes. Okay, well, I just want to let you guys know and make sure you know that the local community, almost all, I don't want to say almost all, they're a large majority of the local community is not happy about those videos.
Right.
But because all of the public comments on the videos are very positive, it seems like the local community is kind of being hush hush about their disappointment of those videos. And so I told him, I was like, from talking to a few people, I was like, the local community is not proud of that. And so I was like, do you guys know if there was any permanent damage done to the trail? And he goes, I don't know. I haven't been out there yet to check on it. We haven't been able to go out and get eyes on the area yet and see what happened and how the Iron Kids left the area.
Right.
And I was like, well, I'm going to be out there Saturday. I wasn't planning on going into Little Sluice, but if you want, I'd totally be down to go into Little Sluice, take a look at the area, and get pictures if need be, videos, whatever we need. And, I just want to make sure you guys know that the community is here to help this situation and do damage control if we need to. And that we don't really approve of what happened and what has been put online. So they said, thank you. They appreciated the sentiment and asked me to go out and take a look at Little Sluice on Saturday.
Okay.
So the other big issue that we've noticed is that there's been a shelf ledge line in Little Sluice that has opened up over the past about a year.
This.
Yeah. It's on the left-hand side. If you're going in Little Sluice and up Little Sluice from the bottom for bathrooms up to the top end where Merlin's table is, there's a bailout line on the right.
Yes.
And the whole left side of that is just a big cliff.
Correct.
There's been a line that has opened up on the cliff side, on the left side. And it's like a 7-8 foot ledge. That's a 90-degree just drop.
Mm-hmm.
And people have been going up and down it in buggies and burning it in. And it's an illegal line. It should not be there. And one of the big reasons why it shouldn't be there is because there is vegetation up at the top, and there's the last of the juniper tree, the Little Sluice juniper tree that came down X amount of years ago. There's a little part of it that's still left up there, and people are driving over it. For the historical value of this juniper tree and quote unquote the former glory that Little Sluice used to be, people were just driving right over it and killing it further.
Chunk still alive, or is it just like a dead?
It's still alive.
Wow.
Yeah. I don't know if it's going to be alive any longer. Its roots are completely thrashed right now. So anyways, people are going up this shelf line. They're driving through. There's a little bit of vegetation on the backside, the upper side of the shelf. People are kind of driving through it now. There's a trail burned through that. They're driving right over the tree, the root system of it, which is going to kill it, which is what we saw the tree in Big Sluice. From driving over that root system, X amount of years, finally the tree came down, lost enough of its support. So I went and took a look at it, and there is an oil waterfall coming down that ledge.
Oh my gosh.
And I'm guessing, people in buggies that have their engines properly caged and, a whole subframe to protecting everything under the vehicle, right? Are just kind of coming down to that and sliding down as their front tires come down the ledge before they hit the bottom, right?
Sure.
But full bodied vehicles or buggies that don't have their oil pans very well protected, I'm guessing tried to come down that and immediately ruptured their entire oil pans.
Maybe. Or tore out their, the plug for their transmission or T cases or something.
Any number of things, right? And so unfortunately you can tell that there's at least 3 different spots where people have completely ruptured and dumped their entire oils or whatever oil was in their system. And so I got pictures of that and I sent it to the county and I was like, yeah, this is pretty bad. I mean, it needs to get closed off because people aren't being responsible and cleaning up after their spills. And it's going to take probably 5 to 10 gallons of BioCleanse to clean off this whole ledge here, this cliffside. So county was like, okay. And they gave me permission to close off the shelf if I could. So I took me and John Allen went up there and to look and see what we could do with closing it off and keeping people from using that line anymore. And ultimately we decided there wasn't anything substantial in that area. There's a bunch of dead standing trees down by the bathrooms, but none of them were really big enough to be a substantial barrier. We figured anything we put up there is going to get pulled down before the end of the weekend. And then we're just creating a bigger mess inside the box. Right.
Right.
So, we just left it open, took a bunch of pictures, sent them to county, and made some recommendations on things county can do that would be cheap and immediate. That would stop 80-90% of people from trying to use that line, with some more permanent solutions that would be actual barriers and keep 100% of the people from using that line. So we'll see what they end up deciding, what they end up doing, but their priority is to start working on that this week.
Wow.
Okay. So that was the Little Sluice trip.
Yeah.
We went in, we left Ice House Resort at 5 a.m. 5 a.m. and then got to Little Sluice about 8 a.m.
Yeah. That's pretty good.
Pretty decent pace. I think from Loon to Little Sluice, it took us an hour and 10.
Yeah.
Hour and 15. Fine. So right around there. But it was me, John and Renee, and then James and Rhonda.
Oh, cool.
And their buggy. So they came in and hung out with us for a little bit. And then they continued to Buck and hung out at Buck with a bunch of people. While John and I turned around and went back to Ice House Resort. So it was very busy on the way out. We got caught in a huge traffic jam where everything converged right at Soup Bowl on the way out. So there was congregation of people playing around, having a good time at Soup Bowl. So 30, 40 cars just around the Soup Bowl area. And then there was us, and we were kind of in this group of in total 10 to 15 vehicles on the way out. And then we came head on at that like rock pile and that campsite right before Soup Bowl.
Yeah.
We came head on right there at that rock pile with another group of about 30 vehicles.
Oh man.
So there's just cars everywhere. You can't really pull off and park anywhere because of all the cars that are playing at Soup Bowl, taking up all the parking, which is fine. It just took some finagling to get everybody around each other at that spot where everything converged. But I will say I was very impressed with everybody's attitudes, because when a traffic jam of that size and proportion happens, it's very easy for people to start losing their shit and lose their patience and just start going all over the place to do whatever they can to get around cars. Right. And there wasn't really any of that happening, and everybody was really good spirits, having a good time and just enjoying being out on the trail, which I thought was really, really cool. Seeing how well the etiquette was working at that moment in time when it was a really shitty situation for a lot of people.
Yeah.
So that was really neat. The rest of the weekend with the Mad Hatters was good. We went back to Ice House Resort, had our potluck. It was fun hanging out with everybody and seeing everybody. So that worked out really well. And then Sunday, I kept the truck and camper at the Ice House Resort and drove over to Berrett Lake.
Oh, okay.
With Fiona.
Yeah.
So I took Fiona with my quote unquote full tank of gas, right? From Ice House Resort all the way up to Loon into Little Sluice.
You had a full tank of gas when you got up to Ice House Resort, but then you wheeled to Little Sluice and back, right?
That's what I was just saying.
Okay. Yeah.
Yep.
And then you wheeled from there,
drove over to Barrett.
Yep. Okay. Got it.
So by the time I started Berrett Lake, I took the 6 gallons of fuel and dumped it into Fiona's tank at the Berrett Lake gate.
Got it. Okay.
So I was about halfway between half a tank and 3/4 of a tank.
Full?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
So I'm like, I should be pretty good. I only used 1/8 of a tank on Barrett last weekend. It should be plenty of fuel to get into the trail, out of the trail, and then back to Ice House Resort. That second half of the fuel tank in Fiona goes like 3 times quicker than the first half.
Dang.
I didn't realize it was that skewed on how quickly it gets used.
Okay.
So my guess is that by the time it's down to like 3/4 of a tank, that's really like half of the tank.
Yeah. Okay.
That would be my guess and assumption.
Yeah.
So
when your gauge says you're 3/4 full, you're really about halfway full.
I think that's what it would be. Yeah. Based on what I found out this weekend. So by the time we got to the rock garden, and the S turn, just past the rock garden S turn section, I was at like just barely over a 1/4 tank.
Wow.
So it used over a 1/4 tank, quote unquote, according to the gauge, from the gate to 2/3 of the way through the trail.
Yeah.
Whereas last weekend I used a quote unquote 1/8 of a tank on there and back.
Right.
So I was like, holy shit, this is going really fast, guys. And then it got to the point where like on downhill descents, so that like that canyon section, you have to come down right before the meadow.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
It was like dipping into E and my light would come on. Going downhill descending, and then when I would come back and level out, it would be like just under 1/4 tank, and I'm like, oh, I think I have enough to like get out, but I don't know if I have enough to get back to Ice House Resort. From there, it's a 30-minute drive from the trailhead back to Ice House Resort.
Well, you could go just a little farther to get up back to Fresh Pond. Oh, but you could cut off. Never mind.
Yeah.
You took the back route, huh?
Yeah, I took the back route, that side road from Ice House Road to Wrights Lake Road.
Yeah. Got it. That makes more sense. I was like, man, you drove all the way down and all the way around.
Yeah, that's an hour drive.
Yeah.
So,
but maybe you should have done it.
Maybe I could have stopped by Fresh Pond.
Yeah.
So anyways, once we got to Berrett Lake, at the campsite, there was one other car there, and on our way in, we ran into quite a few people we knew, actually, or I knew.
Yeah.
There was some guys from the Pacific Mountain Cruisers from Rubicon.
Yeah. Okay.
Who PMC was notoriously not at Rubicon this year.
Yep.
And so I got to talk with them and be like, do you guys mind telling me your side of the story of what happened? Why did you guys not show up? And it's a very interesting story. I'll tell you off air while we're eating our nachos.
Yeah.
So anyways, talked to PMC, and we ran into them going through the rock garden in the S turn. So they were coming out as we were going through it, and we're like, all right, we'll just make this work.
Yeah.
So chatted with them for a while. Really cool guys. Super nice. And then continued on. We ran into 2 other people, and one guy was in a Toyota, one was in a Jeep, and the Jeep had his Hydro Assist clamp on the tie rod was the kind that kind of clamps to your tie rod, and then it has one bolt going in through the heim on the ram.
Okay.
So it's a single shear, right? With quite a bit of leverage with that one bolt setup.
Yeah.
And he had ripped the bolt out.
Yeah.
And there was no more threads for the bolt to go and hold into. So he had it kind of zip tied and duct taped the ram and the bolt down into the clamp, so that it would somewhat hold. And so I was like, oh, what do we got? What do we got here? I usually keep like 120 pound zip ties in the rig to kind of hold stuff together like this.
Right.
Apparently all those are in Kermit.
Oh,
and so apparently I need to get more for Fiona now. Also there was somebody on the Rubicon that needed ATF. I was like, I should have some ATF. Opened up my fluids rifle box. No ATF in there. And I was like, oh, okay. I need to add that in here.
Yep.
So I need to add 120 pound zip ties and ATF to Fiona's setup. But I did have that Build-A-Hose clamp.
Oh yeah.
So after the Morphlate run last year and Brian breaking his leaf springs and us kind of cobbling together hose clamps, I was looking for a set of hose clamps on Amazon and found this build a hose clamp thing. And it's a roll of 15, 20 feet of stainless steel banding and like 12 or 15 of the worm gear drive things. So you just take as much of the banding off, cut it off, and then add a worm gear on it, and you create a hose clamp of any size you need.
Yeah, it's cool.
And so I was like, oh, I have this. Let's see if this will work. And it worked great.
Perfect.
So it held the tie rod down at least, so the bolt would stay in the clamp. He said it did come off. He reached out on Instagram after the trip and said it came off 2 or 3 times on the way out, but it was still able to get him off the trail.
Sweet.
I was like, cool, that worked. I'm happy. So I gave him the whole kit and I was like, I don't know if you're going to need to use more of this. So take the whole thing. It's like $10 on Amazon. I'll go get another one. So I was happy to see that worked really well for its intended use of what I got it for.
Sweet.
Anyways, by the time I got to Berrett Lake, the campsite, I was at like half of a quarter of a tank. So 1/8 of a tank in Fiona.
Dang.
So yeah, that went through fuel quick. So Husmann on his buggy, both Dave and Husmann were smart and topped off their fuel tanks before coming on the trip. Right.
Yeah.
And so Husmann has an AN fitting on the bottom of his fuel tank in the buggy so that if he ever needs to drain his gas tank, it's super easy to drain his gas tank, which also means it's super easy to let fuel out of his gas tank to be able to give to people. And he said he's done it 3 times before I needed to use it.
Yeah.
But he also has a little hand transfer pump that he used recently to suck all the gasoline out of his engine.
Oh yeah.
When his engine flooded. And he goes, that worked great. Let's see if we can just use that, throw it in the top of the tank and the fuel cell and pumps 3 gallons of fuel out. So we did that before leaving on Sunday and threw the fuel in Fiona. With that 3 gallons in there, it was back over just over a quarter tank. And it didn't seem to move from that. It was just barely under a quarter tank.
Weird.
By the time we made it out to the gate. And I was like, that math doesn't add up at all based on what was going on the way in versus the way out. So I don't know. I made it back to Ice House Resort with 1/8 of a tank on the gauge, but I definitely would have run out of fuel if I didn't get that 3 gallons from Husmann.
Yeah. Wow.
So good to know. Driving from Ice House Resort to Little Sluice, back to Ice House Resort, then over to Barrett and running the trail, and then back to the gate, and then back to Ice House Resort. That uses a full tank of gas in Fiona, 22 gallons. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
So, wow. I got that to know. Sunday. So we stayed overnight Sunday night at Berrett Lake. The car that was there when we got there, they took off 5 minutes after we got there. So we got the really nice campsite. Cool. Right on the lake edge. And we made, Sunday, we decided to go hiking.
Okay.
And the Rubicon guys, Pacific Mountain Cruisers, said that they had spent the day before hiking up to Laurance Lake. And apparently on the far side of Laurance Lake is a really bitchin' jump rock.
Oh.
And so I have never been to Laurance Lake before.
Which direction is that from Barrett?
North.
Okay. So towards the plane wreck.
Yeah. So you know how you're going up towards the plane wreck? There's a sign on the tree that says no paragliding.
Okay.
Which I've always find funny. Yeah. Okay. There's a sign on a tree that says no paragliding in this area, which I find hilarious, but it's there as an official notice. Part of me is like, what's the story that the Forest Service had to put a sign right here on this? So apparently right at that tree, the trail splits and goes off to the right. So you stay left to go up to the plane crash and you go right off to Laurance Lake.
Oh.
And it's another lake that is about the same size as Barrett, but much deeper. So it's nice to go swimming in.
A little higher elevation.
A little bit higher. It's about 500 feet up further than Barrett in elevation. So, but there's a trail, sort of a trail that you can hike all around the lake. There's a really bitchin' waterfall on the east side of the lake.
Okay.
And a really bitchin' jump rock on the north side of the lake.
Nice.
So you show up, you kind of come and arrive at the lake on the west side.
Yeah.
So we arrived at the west side, hiked around to the jump rock. I played around and jumped off the jump rock a bit. Dave and Husmann and Dana did not. They just kind of sat there and enjoyed the view.
Twinkled their toes in the water.
Their toes. No, it's on. We're at jump rocks. 7-8 feet off the water.
Okay.
And then we continued to hike around to check out the waterfall on the west side, which right now is not really impressive at all. But I can imagine early in the season, that would be really cool to see.
Really cool.
Very cool and cool to see. Yeah.
Your snow runoff.
Yeah. And then from there, we made it back to the little creek that feeds down into the campsite at Barrett, where the waterfall is, the end of Berrett Lake campground. We just hiked down those granite slabs and popped out in that campsite.
Yeah. Cool.
So it was a fun little hike. Awesome. I've never been to Laurance Lake before. I didn't realize there was a lake up there at that spot. And it's a pretty cool little spot. Apparently it's a very popular spot for backpackers to come hiking through Berrett Lake, and they'll continue on and go to Laurance Lake.
Okay.
So the off-roaders typically stop at Barrett, and the backpackers continue on to Laurance.
Got it. Nice.
So that was really cool. I would definitely leave tokens around Laurance Lake at a couple spots.
Yeah. So I could see that being a good spot.
Yeah. Came back and went swimming again in Barrett. That's where Dave brought his stand-up paddleboard, got it inflated. He went for a jaunt around the lake on it.
Yeah. 5 minutes.
Yep. And then
it's not a big lake.
It's not a very big lake. And so he wanted to go swimming. So he took the paddleboard out to the middle of the lake so he could jump in and go swimming. Yeah. And then the rest of us kind of just waded down in the water and hung out and chatted for a little bit. Nice. And kind of bathed off from the hike.
Yeah, sure.
And then made dinner, had a good night chatting. And then Sunday morning, we were packed up and left the
Monday morning.
Thank you. Packed up and left the campsite about 9 a.m. and made it to the trailhead by about 11:10.
Wow. So you guys boogied.
We boogied. And the difference was I was leading on the way in. I was not leading on the way out. So Husmann led on the way out, and him and Dave, they can just scoot through the trail, right?
Yeah, they motor.
Fiona is just so much of a bigger vehicle. There's a lot of tight squeezes that I have to be really careful with now. I did hit the passenger side of Fiona on a rock in the rock garden. And then I hit the front driver headlight, and it didn't crack it, luckily.
Yeah.
But on this really tight turn in the trail at some point, and I hit the tree on the far side of the turn.
Wow.
Just barely grazed it. And I thought it was on the bumper. And I was like, cool, that worked out good. And then at when we got down to air up, I was like, oh, I got the headlight.
Yeah. Some Alpha X, right?
Yep.
Expensive headlights.
They're expensive. So now there's a big old sap mark across the headlight. Yeah. Luckily, I didn't break it. So otherwise, it's pretty uneventful wheeling. We didn't really have any issues. I had to retighten my ball joint
900
times?
Yeah.
4 or 5 times throughout just the Berrett Lake trip.
Wow.
And I think I did another 3 to 4 times on the Rubicon over there. But it was really fun. It was nice. It was really neat to hang out with Dave and Husmann again. But like, it's been 2 years, I think, since I've wheeled with Dave.
Yeah. It's probably been that for me too. If not, yeah. Been a while.
I will say Dave likes chips and salsa just as much as you do.
I think it's a thing between Husmann, Dave, and I. We all love it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. That's what Husmann always brings chips and salsa. Uh-huh. And Dave and I always eat it all.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah. So, I'm a little jealous, man. You got to go wheeling with like my high school friends. I'm like, damn.
There was a lot of talks of, Jim's not here.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it just didn't work out for me, because I was camping already plans this weekend. And we tried, man. We were, all 4 of us were racking our brains around the calendar trying to find a time to all wheel together. And the stars did not align. Yeah. Nothing worked out. So
we were looking at dates like almost into October, and we couldn't get dates to align.
Yeah, it was pretty wild. So I'm glad you guys still got out. I'm glad you guys still were able to go wheeling together. That's really cool. I'm happy for you guys. I'm just bummed I missed it.
It would have been a really better time with you there. So
it's always,
I know, right? Your life of the party, Jimmy.
Of course.
But it was fun. I didn't bring a tent and I brought a pretty minimal setup. So I just slept on a cot under the stars.
Nice.
And it rained.
Oh no.
Luckily it just kind of sprinkled.
Yeah.
It didn't rain enough to warrant me like having to get up and move underneath Fiona or something. But like I was laying there and I just woke up hearing the rain coming through the trees and I just went, oh no. And then I hear Husmann get out of the tent and start putting the tarp over the buggy. And he goes, hey buddy. I was like, how's it going? He goes, do you need anything? I was like, not yet. It's still pretty light and pretty minimal. We'll see if it gets any heavier than this. Either fatter drops or more drops. Mm-hmm. I'll need to do something.
Yeah, I'll get in between you and your girlfriend.
I would come in there cuddle with you guys. But I think I'm good right now. And it subsided for a little bit and then came back and was just about the same thing. It was really weird because I could hear the raindrops hitting Dave's tent and Husmann's tent and the tarp on the buggy.
Yeah, but none were hitting you.
I never felt one hit me at all. Huh. And my sleeping bag wasn't wet at all.
Interesting.
And I was like, I'm kind of under a tree, but not really.
Yeah.
So it just wasn't enough rain to really have an impact on me sleeping unprotected. But
did Dave's dad make it?
No, he didn't.
Bummer.
Yeah.
Okay.
I really wanted I've never met him before.
Yeah, he's a good dude.
But it was really fun hanging out with them. As always. So,
awesome.
Yeah.
I'm glad you had a good time.
Yeah. So, I don't know, upgrades to Fiona, not really much. I did find the air conditioning was not working great and hasn't been working great since I got it. I had to have the new line put in and the dryer put in. Turns out the evaporator, there's a sensor in the evaporator that when it's tripped, the AC compressor will not turn on. The clutch on it won't engage. And so it turns out that sensor is bad on the evaporator. They tested it electrically and it's not sending the right resistance signals to the clutch in the AC system. So the AC system turns off before it really gets cold. It gets mildly cool, but doesn't get cold.
Right.
So I have to have the whole evaporator replaced because that sensor is built into the evaporator. So the only way to get a new sensor is to get a whole new evaporator. So I'm waiting on that part to show up. But once that part shows up, the AC system should work great past 90-degree temperatures outside.
Yeah.
Let's see. The next step for Fiona is the rear diff and the ball joint eliminators. We'll redo and the ball joint eliminators with some welding eliminators and get the whole rear diff done with E-locker. The ARB was being very temperamental on this trip. And I was just like, sometimes it would leak and it wouldn't hold air. And then other times it would be just fine. And it seemed to be like I had to wait until the diff warmed up. Like with cold oil in the morning, it didn't want to hold air at all.
Interesting.
And lock up and stay locked, right?
Yeah.
And then once the diff, it seemed like once I got going for about half an hour, then it started sealing and holding. But then once I got over like 10, 12 miles an hour, it would start leaking again. Like that's the only things I could get to be a consistent pattern. But either way, I'm just kind of like, I'm done trying to deal with ARBs and the ARB lockers. So the E-locker in the front did awesome.
Okay.
So,
yep. Jeff Morgan's going to call in now.
He's going to call in and everybody can call in, tell me how dumb I am.
Yep.
That's fine.
So, sounds like a fun trip.
It was. Yeah.
I'm a little sad I couldn't make it, but I had family obligations. So wah to me. And, there's a few trips I'm missing, this year that I'm kind of bummed about. The Morphlate run I'm going to miss as well.
Oh, you're going to miss that one?
Yep. So that's I've have some long-standing plans to go to Monterey that weekend.
Yeah.
So that was it. So yeah, bummer for that. I do have a question though. So I did see that Jake Berkey and Busted Knuckle was up on the Rubicon and Fordyce as well.
Thank you for bringing that back up. Okay. Uh-huh.
Are they a part of the Iron Kids? Were they with the Iron Kids? Were they on a separate entire group?
Separate group altogether. They were on the trail at the same time as the Iron Kids, but they have no association with the Iron Kids and they were not traveling with the Iron Kids or anything.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So it was just happened to be two groups of buggies on the trail at the same time, and one group of buggies posting things about fun times on the Rubicon,
partying and all this.
Well, I was going more for the Jake Berkey.
Gotcha. Okay.
Having a good time, cleaning up trash, doing, leading by example.
Yep.
And then we had the other group that was doing kind of the complete opposite.
Yeah.
And, but since they were both buggy groups, people were putting them together as the same person.
The
same
optic,
group.
again, optics are everything. What is it? Perception is reality, right?
Yeah.
So the optics were that Berkey and Busted Knuckle was traveling with the Iron Kids or vice versa, whatever, which is not true. And if you go look at Berkey's content that he was putting out on Busted Knuckle and everything, it all was very responsible, very slow-paced rock crawling. Granted, they were all in rock bouncers.
Yeah.
But they were putting out really good optics of responsible trail use. I was very impressed.
Right.
The optics that the Iron Kids were putting out was the exact opposite of that, right? Rowdy, chaotic party scene out on the trail.
Yeah.
Now, granted, here's the other part I forgot to mention. I'm really glad you brought this back up. People started calling out the Iron Kids on some of the videos. The Iron Kids said, no, we had a big cleanup after the area did not get trashed. We cleaned up everything and we treated everything responsibly before we all left the area. And I'm like, did you really? Or are you just now saying that to cover your ass? Because the content you're putting out does not say that at all.
Okay.
And so I took a wide hike around a little sluice and trying to find trash and white flowers. And I started thinking about if I needed to take a poop out here and I didn't want to go hike down to the restrooms to do it, where would I go? Mm-hmm. If there was some rocks to hide beer cans behind or whatever cans behind, what rocks would I try and hide to find those? So I hiked around for about 45 minutes. I didn't find anything. I was going to say I didn't find shit, but that would have been pun intended.
Yeah.
I didn't find anything. Okay. I was very, very impressed with how they cleaned up. There was no broken car parts in the box at all that I could find. I was fully expecting to find broken car parts like buried in the sand in between the rocks in there. Nothing. I found one Coors Light can that was pretty faded. It was definitely more than a week old. I found what else was it? I found a pretty thrashed old can of some kind. And then I found one thing that looked like it could have been new trash, but like hiking around there for 45 minutes, I only found 5 pieces of trash.
Interesting. So, okay.
I was very impressed, and I will give 100% give credit to the Iron Kids that I truly do believe that they actually cleaned everything up and did a big cleanup. That's not the optics they want to have for their group. So that's not the part that they showed on social media.
Yeah.
So, I don't know if any of the Iron Kids listen to the podcast. If you guys do, just try and keep that in mind. Optics means a lot, and there's been a lot of work that happens on this trail, and there's a lot of eyes that watch this trail like a hawk, the Rubicon Trail. So just remember that with what you guys do. I do think that they were having a good time and that they had a good time, but I do think that they also cleaned up responsibly in the end.
Okay, nice.
So there's that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was kind of like bitter to Jake Berkey and Busted Knuckle because I'm like, man, you came out here and now that there's all these videos of these buggies doing all this stuff that's, that a lot of people see as a great time, but a lot of the other people, the other half, see it as like you're ruining the trail. Like we've been fighting for this trail to, keep it clean, keep it safe, keep it, in control in a way, and now it's not. And I think a lot of people were pointing fingers at him.
He was the celebrity out there, right?
Yeah.
And it just totally coincidental. He was the celebrity on the trail at the time that it was happening, but he wasn't associated. Yeah. I think he got some fingers pointed at him, and I don't know if it'd be worthwhile for him if he cares at all, or if he's going to put out anything to be like, I was not with Iron Kids. We were on our own trip, and we didn't have anything to do with that. I think it'd be a benefit to him to do that based on how pissed the county is at stuff. But we'll see if he does or not.
He's on the East Coast. It doesn't matter. Exactly.
When's
the next time he's coming out here?
Yeah. Right.
It's like I have a speeding ticket in Croatia, but when's the next time I'm going back to Croatia?
Yeah. Right. Exactly.
But yeah, cool. Okay. Well, that's good to know. Thanks for clarifying that. And good job to the Iron Kids for cleaning up for sure.
Thank you guys for following through and actually doing that and being responsible on the back end. So
yeah. If you guys do want to get in contact with us, you can always do that over on Instagram. SnailTrail4x4 is what I look over. Tyler's over at 4x4 Toyota Tyler. You can phone in 916-345-4744. That phone number is also in the show notes, so you don't have to worry about it. And you can talk about your guys' adventures out on the Rubicon or trips that you've done around your neck of the woods.
Yeah, like blowing an axle shaft, possibly on Axle Hill.
Yeah, that sounds like fun. Billy.
Yeah.
So then let's see, what's the other way we always shout out? Discord, of course, or emails, I guess is the other one. Jimmy and or Tyler at SnailTrail4x4.com.
Sounds good. I guess with that, Jimmy, any final words for everybody out there to wrap the show up?
No, I think, I was just going to say party responsibly, you know, I guess, optics is a big thing nowadays with, social media and everything being so easy to display everything, but just think about what you're throwing out there to the world.
Yep.
I'm all for people partying. I'm all for people having a good time. Oh, something I didn't talk about. There was a big party going on at the campground I was at, right? And we were up until like midnight-ish that on Saturday night just playing our card game, being quiet, and this other campground was loud. Right as we were going to bed, they were setting fireworks off. Big mortar fireworks.
What?
Yeah. They sent 3 of them off. And I think
holy shit.
My guess is somebody went down there and complained to that group or whatever. I was about to go and complain. And then somebody in our group actually ended up calling the cops.
Wow.
And was like, hey, somebody's setting fireworks off in the middle of the forest.
Yeah.
Right.
Not good.
Not good.
Yeah.
And we don't know. The thing is, when out there where we're at, there's a lot of fingers in the lake. And so it could have been a houseboat. Like out on the lake, kind of on the lake. There's a big group campground that it could have been them. And I don't think it was any of the smaller campers around us, but it's just, don't be an idiot. It's one of those things, it's like lighting fireworks. There was literally 2 fires that went on while we were at up in Shasta that were happening around the lake. And we could see smoke plumes coming up on different sides of the lake. And then I'm like, these people are shooting fireworks off around the lake. Don't be an idiot. So, I'm all, like I'm saying, I'm all for partying. I didn't give a crap if you're up at 1 a.m. having a good time, playing your music, whatever. That I'm fine with that. Maybe you're keeping me up, whatever. Don't be an idiot and shoot fireworks off.
Yeah.
Right. I'm all for you having a great time out at Little Sluice partying, having a fantastic time. Clean up after yourself, do things responsibly. And so that things can't come back to you. And it sounds like maybe these Iron Kids guys did.
I hope so. Optics are everything, right? And with how much scrutiny is on motorized recreation right now because of Bears Ears and Grand Escalante National Monuments, that was a bad time to be posting those videos of glorifying the partying at Little Sluice. So, be careful about what you guys put online, but still have a good time. Have fun. Just make sure that the optics are one that shows the OHV community being responsible users of the land and the trails. So
maybe on the flip side, if the Iron Kids happen to be listening, show yourself cleaning up.
Yeah. Right? I think it would have been fine if they had showed all the fun they were having and all the partying and the drag races. Like, none of that was inherently bad. It's the other stuff that comes after the fact that they'd never really addressed. I think if they had put in at the end of those videos, like a cleanup party and that they all were picking up, putting shit in trash bags, I think it would have been all just fine.
Yeah. Show the good times and then show the responsible side of it.
Yeah. I think it would have been fine.
Yeah.
But perception is reality. So with that, my friends, don't forget, keep crawling.
Hey, Tyler.
Hey, Jimmy.
Did you hear about the pirate that walked into the bar with a steering wheel in his pocket?
I did not. What happened to him?
Well, the bartender was like, "What is that?" And the pirate said, "I don't know, but it's driving me nuts."
Okay.